Hi there, I'm Matthew Lester. I'm one of the lecturers on the Rhodes Business School MBA program, and I'm responsible for the Stewardship and Governance module that will be presented at the Rhodes Business School from 16 to 20 May 2013. This is a little introductory video about what I'm trying to achieve and what is expected of students. It is suggested that you watch this before you come to the first classes. Right, what am I on about? What's the purpose of this module? I'm a great believer that we need to understand where we are in South Africa today and the challenges that are facing the business community and government. I start off by looking at South Africa, its economy, people, philosophy, politics, all of that stuff for about half a morning, just to set the scene. What are we up against? Then I'm going to have a look at finance and governance, legislation, regulations, principles and ideals in South Africa. This will introduce the idea of understanding the interrelationship between business ethics and the parameters laid down by the various statutes, particularly the Companies Act, the Income Tax Act and the new Tax Administration Act. We will look to develop a basic understanding of business entities. What item are you actually trading in? How does the tax collection mechanism and other responsibilities placed on management in South Africa actually work? Then we will look at the relevance of the Income Tax Act and the Companies Act in decision making within businesses. Remember that income tax takes about 25% of gross domestic product in South Africa today, and virtually every business decision has an income tax implication. We will also learn how to do basic income tax computations. Please don't freak out here. This is simply so that you get an idea of how tax is actually computed within the various entities. We will also look at the process of managing the Companies Act, the Income Tax Act and the Tax Administration Act. South Africa has become more and more keen on administration. Get your administration wrong and you can suffer, no matter how good your legal team may be. We need to understand the consequences of non-compliance with the Companies Act, the Income Tax Act, and particularly the Tax Administration Act, and the risks that this places on day-to-day management of any business today. We will also look at how to manage disputes between SARS and the taxpayer in terms of the new Tax Administration Act. If you are in business, you have a responsibility to regulate the tax affairs of your employees through employees' tax obligations. Everybody needs to understand that, as well as how it affects their basic employment package. Then we also collect VAT on behalf of government, and that places huge responsibilities on any business. Finally, we will be having an overview to create a basic understanding of the National Credit Act and the responsibilities that that places on management, and the Consumer Protection Act and how the management can come unstuck with that lot. Our program will start off on the 16th of May with an introduction to the challenges facing South African government and business. I entitle that lecture South Africa's Inconvenient Truth. It will be about 2 hours of duration. Then we will look at business ethics and its interrelationship with stewardship and government objectives. Finally, in the late afternoon, we will be looking at the parameters of tax planning and general anti-avoidance regulations. How far can you push your tax planning, and how does that compare to stewardship and governance objectives and corporate governance objectives? Day 2 will be talking about the Companies Act and directors' responsibilities. In Day 2, we will basically be looking at your responsibility as a director or office bearer of any company. In the late afternoon, we will be doing a discussion of a group assignment which will be set on Day 1 concerning business ethics. That information is already available in the business ethics notes, and you need to start looking at it even before you come to university. On the 18th, we will be looking at basic taxation computations. That would be a corporate tax computation. We will also be looking at 2 smaller taxes, them being dividend tax and capital gains tax. In the evening, we will be having a group assignment discussion, which will be looking at Companies Act matters, board meetings, and the like. On 19 May, we'll be looking at VAT and employees tax. And then, very importantly, the responsibilities placed on management through the new Tax Administration Act. Again, in the afternoon, we will be having a short group assignment. On the final morning, we will be looking at other pieces of legislation which affect your business on a daily basis, such as the Financial Intelligence Centre Act, the National Credit Act, and the Consumer Protection Act. The resources that you will need for this course: the learning's outcomes are pasted to this module space on Are You Connected? The lecture venue will be at the Rhodes Business School. The lecture notes will be provided in both Word and PowerPoint slides. They are already available on Are You Connected? All lectures will be recorded using this medium, so you will be able to take the videos home with you for future reference and study. I do not prescribe books for this course. You may buy Hooft Notes on South African Income Tax. It's very expensive, and some people say that it goes into too much detail for the purposes of this course. You will be required to produce an assignment of 3,500 words on any aspect of finance and governance that is relevant to this course. Maximum length, again, I emphasize, is 3,500 words, absolute maximum. And please note, the assignment is 50% of the final assessment of this module. It is very important. The assignment is due by midnight on the 1st of July, and the results will be posted on 12 August 2013. There will also be a small marker allocation to class participation. The class will be divided up into groups, and they will be required to make little 15-minute presentations each afternoon. The details will be communicated to you at the commencement of the course. However, the first assignment is already posted in the basic Introduction to Ethics notes. Class participation will constitute 10% of the final assessment of this module. There will be an examination on the 24th of August 2013. It's a 3-hour paper running from 10 to 1 o'clock. It will constitute 40% of the final assessment of this module. If you wish to contact me, you can email me on profmatthewlester@gmail.com. We can always make appointments and correspond over that. In an emergency, you can phone me on my cell phone number. You can follow my writings and thoughts on criticalthought.co.za. I do have a Twitter post on profmathlester, and I also publish quite a bit on LinkedIn. You're welcome to use those resources. Thank you for your attendance, and I look forward to meeting you on the 16th of May at 8 a.m.